Hello, everybody, and welcome to 3 Points of Light with Brian, myself, Darlene, and Jennifer. Yay! Okay, I'm going next. All right. Tonight's conversation will be, sure we'll go kind of like all the place, but the tools that we use when we're connecting with spirit, and then when we're done with that, we'll talk about etiquette. And I think that's going to be a hot topic. It is in my books, anyway. Say hi, Brian.
Hi. I don't think it can be a hot topic, to be quite honest, because if you're a spiritualist, there's only one way to be. You know, you're not nasty. You're nice to most people. You pre-think what you're going to say, and if something comes up really that is against your own principles,
Brian. That's the second half. We're talking about the tools first.
If you're going to talk about tools, well, you know what.
Yes, we're going to talk about the tools.
A lot of people don't realise that, going back to the old days, my grandmother used to read tea leaves. I've heard that people can read everything from cornflakes to different newspapers that come up.
Somebody told me they read popcorn.
Yeah, cornflakes, all that sort of thing. It doesn't matter because it's what's suitable for you. I think that's the. My nan was always really, really good at tea leaves, though. That was the. Of course, they all come in tea bags these days. So does that in?
No, it's going back to fresh tea. They put it in a little diffuser or infuser, whatever the case, a fuser of some sort or another, and stick it in a glass of hot water, cup of hot water.
Yeah.
So
I used to prefer that tea, though. Much better.
On another friend's show, I think it was on IntuiTalks, with Dorothy Holder's show, she had a woman who would read the tea leaves. People drank their tea and did what they had to do with the tea, and they took a picture of it and sent it into the show. That'd be something interesting to have that lady on with us. Because, unfortunately, I fell asleep and didn't get to the show. So.
No, it's good stuff. I remember my grandmother doing the reading. She was of Irish descent, and they used to travel around Ireland on these caravan things. So they really knew how to do it in those days. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Hi, sweetie.
It's taken me a little time to move.
That's okay. We're going to take it easy. We're not rushing it. We got 2 hours. We're okay.
No, I've never read the tea. I mean, I have checked it out. It's pretty cool. I would like to, do that. But, and the candle wax, I would like to really try that. I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, my friend, Natalie, the daughter, it's a mother-daughter team that run the store where I buy all my spiritual crystals and stuff. The daughter did that one time while I was in the store, and I was like, what are you doing? And she said, I'm reading the candle wax. And I was like, interesting. So I can ask her and hook you up. You can have a conversation.
Puddles. I mean, has anyone ever read rain puddles? I have sat and actually seen things in the rain puddles.
Jackie.
Don't burn your nipples. Oh, my God, Jackie. That's something Jackie would say.
She did it. Okay, now Mama's blushing.
At least I've got an ally now. Roger's here, so I don't feel so alone.
Yeah, but he's still outnumbered.
Oh, my God.
So you said you read rain puddles?
Yes. Yes, I actually, I had seen had seen a spirit in the rain puddle. So I decided after the rain, quit coming down so hard, I decided I was going to go outside and sit and sort of, gaze into the rain puddle, and quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It would kind of make sense because is the container earth, And the rain is also natural, so it's like that would be like a double whammy on Mother Nature and Mother Earth working together. So it would make sense.
And water is a good conduit for spirit.
That's right. Now, I've heard of divining rods. Has anybody ever used or heard of divining rods? It's just words that I'm sort of pulling out of things that I've heard. So I've never, I've seen crazy, TV shows there, the old thing, looking for the water, and they go, that type of divining rod. But I'm not sure exactly. Dowsing rods. Sorry, dowsing. But I'm not sure how they would be used. So, Diane, you said you've used them, so tell me how. You should come on microphone. It would make it so much easier than have you type it all in. I've heard your voice on mic before. I think it was last week on another show. Anyway, so I'm still saying, okay, I have two pendulums. One was a crystal that it was just, I just saw it and I chose it, and it was, I've heard and seen them used. Okay, you've heard it. Okay. It was a crystal that I had, and a daughter of a friend of mine would pendants out of crystals or whatnot, and I asked if she'd make me something to hold the pendulum. I should have had it. Would have made more sense actually to get it. Let's see. Let's see if I can put my hands on it without killing myself. Okay, everybody, get my butt now. Roger, Brian, none of that. Oh gosh. Oops. I don't kill myself and I have so much stuff over here. It's not funny. And new. I want to show up. But, no, I don't have it. There it is. Oh, Lord only knows. But, I have this one. Hang on a second. This was, the store I go to had, like most, I would assume, most esoteric shops, they have pendulums hanging from racks. And I've been there so many times and I always thought, oh, very pretty, very pretty. But I was never drawn to one specifically, even though I want one, but just don't know which one. So one time I went in, and I was sitting, just talking to somebody, and all of a sudden, a flutter caught my eye, and I swore to goodness that there was a butterfly, and I had to get up and go to find the exact spot where the butterfly was, and there was a pendulum. There were other pendulums exactly the same, probably a little bit different, but this one to me had to be it because it was pendulum. And it is, there you go. And that's mine. Now we work together often, but in general, we sit there and have conversations. So I've worked with a pendulum. Jen, have you ever worked with a pendulum?
Oh yeah. One caught my eye. I've been thinking about them, and one caught my eye, and I just had to have it. And I really didn't think that was something for me, but right away, I was anxiously awaiting it, and I got it out, and I started, working with it. I actually named her.
Ooh.
Her name is Red Beauty. And so I actually named her, and, we talked before we got to working with each other. But, yes, I was very amazed at how well she worked. I did, we did have to have our conversation. This is how we're going to work. This is, what I want for the answer yes. This is what I want for no. This is what I want for maybe more likely and maybe more unlikely. But yeah, I was pretty amazed at how she worked, and I do have a lot of trust in her.
I have conversations with my pendulum each and every time. and she hangs right in front of me, so she's always there for me to when I need her.
Right.
She's like, you can sort of, it kind of sort of hear her screaming at me, you know, and it's not actually screaming, it's just like that the cat flashy eye thing. But you know, I don't know why, but sometimes it's there, and sometimes like, hello, darling, come, pick me, you know. But so yeah, I understand the idea of looking to your pendulum.
Yeah, I just, like I said, I just wanted to experiment and get into, you know, see how I did work with some of the tools. I usually don't like to use them, but sometimes it's a good thing.
It makes things to me. You can use the different types of tools. Makes it just a little bit different.
Right.
And I'm not depending, because some
Right.
people, yes, they depend on the tool. So I don't depend on the tool because I use more than one. It's like I said, for me, it makes it a little bit interesting. I know Brian, his tool is his brain.
Well, I started out with no tools. My first tool was a cell phone, and I noticed that I was being drawn or pushed or nudged or forced to look at the cell phone at a certain time.
Okay.
I would look and it'd be like, oh wow, isn't that funny? That's the day so and so died. Oh, that's so and so's birthday. That's so and so's address, and it just started getting, you know, a little weirder. I'm like, So I call that my little Tesla device, and I also used a coffee pot. I am one that always unplugs the coffee pot after I'm finished using it, and I do have the, you know, the clock settings on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that sometimes I felt like I'm drawn to look at the coffee pot instead and see the numbers flashing on the coffee pot.
Okay.
Now that, you know, when you set a coffee pot, it keeps perfect time, just like a clock or a cell phone would do. But my coffee pot, if, you know, it would start out, just say at 12:36, my father's numbers.
Okay. But normally when a pot starts back up after being unplugged, it's 12 o'clock.
Right. So I would plug in this coffee pot, and I would know the difference, you know, whether I'm supposed to look at the clock, which was the cell phone, or the coffee pot. It was just straight one. Like I said, once they know how you communicate and how you're receiving the messages, they work with those tools, and you to, you know, get your attention. But those were my first tools, was a cell phone, and I didn't use it for phone calls. This was just for communicating, and a coffee pot.
Now, do you still have that cell phone?
Oh, yes, I do. I will not get rid of it. It's
not used for. Say something tells me you'll never get rid of it.
No, it doesn't. I don't use it for phone calls, but that's my little Tesla time and date decoder, as they call it.
Cool.
And of course, I use the coffee pot still the same way. You know, I don't use that too often anymore, but it's and other people are even like, wow, that's sort of weird. I just know what what I'm supposed to be directed to look at.
That sounds awesome. Brian, Mr. Quiet in the background, have you ever used any kind of tool besides your mind?
Well, I've tried to, I'll be quite honest, but
what have you tried?
Well, I've tried to pick them. I've got, I hate to say this, I've got a pink one.
You have a pink?
Pink, what's the name? What
pendulum?
Yes.
Okay.
As it goes, Pauline picked it out for me one day. She reckons, you know, was going. We went to one of the local fairs down on the coast, and he suddenly walked past one of these shops with all the different bits and pieces in it, and she said, "Here, I've got it. This is your one." Boom. All right, fair enough. It this pink crystal. It looks really, really nice. I'll keep it wrapped up in the other room because I've only used it twice. I did use it a lot when I was doing readings on one of the pages that I look after. I found that even without using it, the thoughts were there anyway. So thoughts just come in all the time. You know, it's unreal. I don't know. Obviously, there's not many people do the same things that I do. You know, and it can get very confusing. Because first of all, I used to think, oh no, I'm wrong doing it this way. You know, I've got to stick to the standard way of doing things. It never worked. It never worked for me at all. I tried cards. I've got endless amounts of cards in our computer room. And
can I go shopping when I come down in your computer room?
Oh, it's honestly, I mean, I'm a great believer in keeping all these little artifacts, you know, and they just don't seem to work for me. Why, I don't know. As I say,
well,
I mean,
at least you've tried them.
Yeah, one of the things that I used to do, which I found very interesting, and nothing ever came of it, but we had a 8-bedroom house prior to splitting up with my ex. It was a normal 4-bedroom house, and somebody built a massive crate extension on the side of it. And I was walking around there one day, and if I keep my hand flat to the ground, we were talking about divining rods before, if I keep my hand flat to the ground, I can pick up hot spots. And I picked up one, and it was just on one of the bedrooms, just as you sort of entered by the doorpost, and I could feel a massive heat from there. Anyway, I thought to myself, well, I told my ex about it, got the normal reply, you know, you're bloody stupid. But anyway, I phoned a friend who was a relative, and Bill came down, and I said, look, Bill, I said, somewhere in one of the bedrooms, I said, there's a hot spot. So I'm not going to tell you which one, find it for me. Anyway, you wouldn't believe it. He picked exactly the same room, exactly the same position, and he said, boy, he said it's so strong. Well, we couldn't dig and find out what was there because it's a huge, great concrete floor, you know. But at least to me, it was a recognition that
it was a confirmation that you weren't not out of normal anyway. Ooh, get another thing. Yeah.
But no, that's about the only different thing that I do. I've found, and I'm hoping one day to go to the goldfields over in Victoria and have a chase around there, because I reckon I can pick up where the gold nuggets are.
There you go. Well, hello, Angelically Inspired. Her speakers just went off. Said hi. So anyway, well, that's cool. No, because like you at least tried it. You tried something. I know, and this is what I think, which is what not everybody can do the same thing. Can do, even if we both have. Okay, hi, Angelically Inspired. Welcome. We're talking about the tools that we use. So if you have any tools, I'm into tools. Not everybody can use, even if two people have the exact same cards, they're not always, they're not read the same, and they're not played, but you know, they're not used the same way. So I have a friend who has the exact same deck as I do. And sometimes we used to, when we would Skype, we would, you know, draw the cards. We'd think of a question and we'd draw the cards. We'd come up with different cards. Sometimes we'd actually come up with the exact same card. Mine would start with the same cards as hers ended with, so it worked together. But we tried it. She wasn't comfortable with them. She could do them, but she wasn't comfortable, and that wasn't her forte. So it was, you know, everybody has something different, but at least you tried, you know. And I personally have about 20 plus decks, and I think I've only used maybe 6, but I don't have the ones that I use all the time, one specific. It's kind of a rotating effect. Whichever decides it wants to be played and used, I do it. But that's me. Anybody in the chat room have any comments and suggestions about different things that they use? We've covered tea leaves. How about crystals? I mean, I know I have crystals, you know. And again, in our pendulums, majority of them are crystals, because I have seen some wooden pendulums and the like. But in crystals, have you ever used them? Somebody once told me about where they had a star or something, and they would throw the crystals out, and they would read the crystals would have a specific meaning for each where it was, and it was pretty intense. So, if anybody in the chat rooms ever use crystals to do readings, let me know. Jennifer, anything?
Yeah, I keep crystals. I love crystals. I don't necessarily use them to, try to read with, but I do hold certain crystals, or, rub them together in my hands, or set them on the desk while I'm doing readings.
Yeah.
But I don't, necessarily use them, for the reading.
Okay, no, because like I said, there was, I don't remember. Oh, I think it was Jeff Lonergan. He and his wife had, I'm correct, came up with, they started with something and then they expanded on it. So, I'll have to talk to him about that and ask him again.
That's runes, isn't it?
That's what I was going to say. Are you talking about they do runes? Or they do?
No, that's the whole. No, it wasn't runes. It was. He does have the runes, but these were crystals.
Right.
And it was the way he explained it was like a cloth that had a diagram on it. Now I don't remember if it was a star or if it was a circle.
Okay. Okay.
And they would have the bag of crystals, and then they would ask a question or what the case may be. I don't know. I don't remember. And to toss the crystals on the thing, and that's how the crystals would be read. Where they fell on the, with what section they fell and who they fell with, and so that's how that one would be. The Miracaba. Yes, that's what my crystals, I think. Correct. But that was one of the things. Okay, pendulum, landing on tools. And one of the things I find rather interesting is it's not a tool per se, but it is paintings and drawings. There are a lot of people who do spiritual paintings. While they're doing readings, they'll give you a painting of your guide or your spirit guide, be it human or animal, or they'll draw a picture of your angel that's with you, what they see. But there are people who, Renee Richards, she has some very awesome paintings. And what I like about it is some of her paintings is that she doesn't give them a name. And you see what you see in them. But I don't think she uses them as a tool when she does a reading. But it is, something of that. There are many, like I said, there are many people who, when they do readings, there's a gentleman over in the UK, Patrick Gamble. He will do a reading. He has his own deck, and I have one. And but he also does a portrait of your spirit guide who comes through when he's doing the reading. And again, he's over in the UK. He does do international things, but maybe that'd be one day we can have him on and talk to him about how he does his spirit portraits. But that's another, not tool per se, but it's another tool in the toolbox.
There's so many things, isn't there?
Yeah.
I was reading a guy, in fact it was a video that was on, and he was telling us about how he has perceived that there are so many more ifs. They say you've got, your five senses. Well, telepathy really is another sense. And he was saying that the chances are that other senses, other than what we have already, there's a lot more of them. And he was saying that it's possible that people do this levitation business or moving objects and even going to different realms, which is similar to a remote viewing. You can actually be there and interact with people. And he said there's so many more things that people haven't even thought of yet. These the gifts, and I reckon, or he reckons that the chances are that everybody has them. It's just that they just haven't undone the door,
I'm trying to see if there's a quick look on my handy dandy phone. It's not a device. All this is the great Google of the different clairs that there are.
Exactly, Diane. Right, exactly. It's what you are comfortable with.
Yeah.
You're comfortable with it.
Exactly, because I cannot read water or read a puddle. It'd be interesting, Jennifer, you have. And there are people out there who read clouds. And
I read those too.
I can see things in clouds. I mean, I don't understand them, but I can see things. And it's fun when they're laughing at me. It's like I'm sitting there looking at something going, hey, the cloud's laughing at me. I seriously swear it, But, and what it means exactly, well, maybe eventually I'll learn it, but for now it's just like, it's not, we can't say, oh, no, that will never work for me. Because then you have closed off that door, that possibility of that newness. But, there's a lot of things. There's the cloud readings.
Well, it's like communicating with animals. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, that's crazy, but a certain animal, a certain insect just happens to show up at a certain time while you've got something, on your mind, a certain, thing on your mind. And, the animals do communicate. A lot of people, that's crazy, but, it does happen. There are people who read spaghetti noodles too. Yes. Yeah. I mean, anything's possible. But yeah, I'd be amazed at sometimes I'd be sitting there thinking about a certain someone an animal would come at a certain time and I'd get these thoughts in my mind and, it would do crazy things. I had told you about the Barbara DeLong story, this was last year. No, this was maybe the year before last. Barbara DeLong had a story about a seagull, and she had asked, if she was on the right path, if she was meant to, do this. I had been feeling the same way. Is this really what I'm supposed to do? And, I started thinking about the Barbara DeLong and the seagull thing, and, I'm sitting in my chair having coffee, smoking a cigarette, looking out the door, and bigger than shit, what lands in my door, and at the doorway, and is looking right back at me is this big seagull. I'm like, now that is strange. Never has this happened before. And we made eye contact, and I just started laughing, and I'm like, I know that this is, everyone else might think I'm crazy, but this seagull is here to tell me the exact same thing. Yeah. And of course it was humorous. And I walked up to the door. I looked at the seagull and I said, yeah, I know. I'm supposed to keep on keeping on, and I'm going to. Thank you very much. And the seagull flew off, and it's never happened again. I've never seen a seagull. Pardon?
I think you hit it on the head. People, what you just said, different people come up with different things and they dismiss it in their mind because nobody else does it. And it's a shame because, I was telling Mama D about me, I can ring these doorbells, or I could. I haven't tried it for a long, long time now. But people say that, you couldn't do that. You couldn't send out enough energy from your mind to be able to do it. But I had to go for an interview whilst I was doing that at home. These electronic bells that you put the bell anywhere in the house and there's no wires attached, but I could ring those just by thinking about them. Anyway, I went to an interview for a job, And I had to sit in this little waiting room, and you could see, right in front of me was the office, and they had one of these bells on the counter. And I thought, well, I'll have a giggle here. So I rang this thing about 5 or 6 times. And in the end, they were going back and forward to the front door and looking out and seeing there was no one there. And they couldn't understand it, but you can, I've not done it because really, what does it prove? I mean, it's just, as the guy who taught me transcendental meditation, he said to me when I asked him about it, and he just said, Brian, he said, it's just mind games. We can all do those sort of things. It's just whether or not you make it into your sort of life desire. And I think that, as Jenny just said, there's so many things like, the animal business, you can look at them in the eyes, and some people can pick up straight away exactly what that animal wants or needs. And it's just a matter, really, I suppose, I haven't done it, but I suppose it's a matter of you tuning in to animals and being able to read them.
Yeah. And Roger just said, right, Brian, it's one thing to get a message, but we still have to be in the right frame of mind at the time to recognize that we are getting a message, which is very true. Because you could have the same thing happen to you over and over and over again and not click. And then because you weren't, your guides and everybody is sending you some kind of message, but unless you're thinking at that time and focusing on to get the response, like you can ask for, I need a sign to I don't know, that I'm going to get money. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you keep getting, somebody always says something about buying the lottery, or something happens that makes you want to buy it. But if you're not thinking about it, you're not going to get it. And you have to be specific when you ask for these things, because I asked for money last time and I found 50 cents on the floor. So that didn't cut it. I must have a muffin. But that was it. But yeah, you have to be in the right mind to get your messages, and that's agreed.
2 weeks ago, I wrote down 6 numbers, and Pauline actually went down and put them over we have here in Australia. And would you believe they came up? And it was I think it was $77.
Oh, nice! And nice double digit.
For years, it really is. As I say, it's what you concentrate on, and Spirit will send you messages for all these different things. It's whether you take them up or not. That's what I found personally. That Pauline gets a hell of a lot, but she won't discuss it. She just puts them down to, well, that's just how it goes, It's nothing special, So she tends to sit back and, she's there for me. That's what she says. It's not. I think she's wasted. I think she can do so much more. But anyway, back to you.
Yep. Does anybody else in the chat room have any ideas on tools that they use, or want to share an idea? Not an idea. Share what that they use, if any, for connecting with spirit. Sorry. At a moment. Okay. Guess not. I don't know if there's a time difference between here. Well, just don't want to talk to me anymore. No, I'm kidding. Do you use cards? What cards do you use, if I can ask? Or do you have a specific deck that you use? Don't make me sing now. Dorian's tarot cards. The angel tarots. I have those. Very nice. But she has a few. Yep. She has a few tarot cards. I use cards of all kinds. My guide or spirit and intuition. Yeah. Everybody has their thing. Some of us are still crystals. I'd like to talk to you about how you use the crystals. That'd be interesting conversation. I think everybody has their favorite card, favorite pendulum, favorite tool that they use to help them connect. Or I think it's not only helping us connect. Okay, I'm going to talk about me first. It wouldn't be only just helping me connect, but my customers, my clients, some of them want to see, the card. Just because I don't do mediumship, I don't do messages from spirit. It's my cards that do the messages, so that's where they will get it. But some people would rather, have a tangible thing in front of them to see. But there are a lot of people who just want that message, and there are some amazing mediums out there who can give spot-on messages from uncles and aunts and loved ones and Elvis.
Use from spirit a different thing, though, aren't they?
Sorry?
Messages from spirit are a different thing. I mean, you get these intuitive thoughts come into your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You give those out, but when it's, to be quite honest, the only contact I've ever had with spirit is my daughter that passed, and she comes in and lets me know when I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, we daughters like to tell our dads that one. That's a good one.
Oh, she loves doing that. It's gorgeous people. But no, I think there's a lot more to the human mind than anyone has even thought of it. They reckon you use 10% of your mind. And I think it's growing more in people now. It's getting to a higher state.
Yeah, I think it is. I think more people are curious about what's to come, what the possibilities are,
It's noticing what you can do and what you do get.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of my stuff comes in on an intuitive level, and it's great. I can fully understand now when things come in. I don't question them at all. I just give it as it comes. And I think this is, once you accept it in your own mind that that's what it is, then you'll get more. But people think, oh no, I can't say that. It's ridiculous. You've got to find a nice way of putting it to people, even if it's you're gonna die in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, I know.
You've got to find a nice way of putting it so as you don't offend people.
Yeah. Well, I have when we get messages, I don't remember a lot of dreams, but I do sometimes. But I really suck in interpreting my dreams and what it means. So I go to Jennifer, and then I'll tell her what the dream is or what it was specifically I remembered, and she will help me she'll guide me to the path to make me realize what it was exactly. I was like, okay. So I'm still in the learning phases of trying to understand some of this stuff. I think we are, but in some cases it's like, I don't understand what the heck that meant. And it's like, didn't make any sense. But it's funny. I'm just thinking of one. I had a dream, and all I woke up remembering was roughly seeing a snake squash. And and a word. And I could just, it didn't make sense to me. So I was telling Jennifer about it. And the word was, okay, here we go. Balchinian. Now I had seen, I knew what it meant in the now sense, but it didn't understand what it meant for me to get it. And the picture it's like, I couldn't, so then we did a Google search, sort of looked kind of like it. It was an alien from, was it Men in Black? And Jennifer helped me realize that it was something about maybe that I had to grow a set to deal with something that was happening in my life. And it's like, that makes sense, but I didn't think of it. I didn't think of it at the time. It needed somebody to. Okay, let's go. Robert wrote, I used to read palms. Oh, that would be interesting. But I couldn't do it justice. If I was able to touch the person's hand, if I was just a visual or a picture, then reading would be cold and clinical with no depth. It's true. And then once and dying the internet shopping. Without this stopped. Exactly, Christy. Eric's not here, so it's not Teddy's fault. Diane said, I once did a reading for an elderly lady that asked straight out when her husband would pass. I tried not to answer that one, but my guy wouldn't move on until I told her what she needed to know. I found that it was quite hard and nerve-wracking. Yeah, that's a doozy. Like I have holy shit, you've got me there.
Wow.
That would be the hardest thing I could see, to tell somebody that one of their loved ones was passing or on the path passing, if they didn't change their ways. And that's the point, is people need to either, if I'm just going to sit on my ass and not change, then this is the way it's going to go. But if you tell me there's that possibility, there's a damn good possibility that I'm going down that way, unless I change it, then you have to decide. You have to grow a set of Balchinians and figure out what you're going to do with your life. So, yeah, no, I can, that would be one that I wouldn't know how to deal with. Then you would see all the soppy, sappy side of Mama D pop out of Darlene, sorry. But, sorry, I cut you off, Jennifer.
No, no, you didn't.
Okay. But that's a hard one for me to figure that one out. I don't know if I'd ever be able to. I mean, I guess I would be able to, but yeah. Well, for me, somebody told me my husband was going to pass in 2 months. I'd be saying, okay, what is he doing? I'd have to stop and sit there and think, okay, what is he doing wrong, and what is it I have to change for him? You know, we love our husbands. Okay, he was 94. Well, mine's not anywhere close to that one.
Stop putting arsenic in his dinner.
Sit. Damn. Now, don't tell the world.
Yeah, see, I don't know, with that, that's rough.
Yeah.
I have had, dreams. I've had, visits, from certain people, and, I would get the information and know that something was going to happen, and, it did. I would never tell anybody in a reading. I don't think that somebody, that somebody was going to pass.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently had somebody ask me about, an illness, if I could feel or see anything, which I did. But rather than saying what I felt, it was, and I know in my heart that she knew and was already preparing herself for,
Mm-hmm.
what was going to be, what was going to come of it. I tried to guide her in the right direction. Don't fear it. You're a warrior. You're going to get through this. Try to lead her in the right direction. Give her that positive mindset that she was going to need to prepare herself for, the diagnosis to come and what she was going to have to do to fight it.
Okay.
Sometimes it's rough.
Yeah. Yeah. Roger says, has anyone here done readings that have haunted your sleep for days after? That's why he had to quit the palm reading. Well, I haven't. Not for me, because I'm still a babe in the woods here. But, no, I can't.
I've done readings that have stayed with me, or gotten information that was really, upsetting, or, especially like with the kids, my children's friends, when they, something would come up and then they were no longer with us. That was really hard to deal with. Very hard to deal with.
Yeah.
When they come to you afterwards, trying to give the messages to their friends, that's really hard too.
Yeah. True. Brian, you were saying something? No. Okay. He stepped away from the computer.
A cup of tea.
Okay. Well, did you bring enough for everybody? There's 8 people in the chat room, so come on.
I made you one last night. I told you. And you didn't do it. Here, cool.
Fine. Didn't send it down the tube to the Canada line.
I putting it over my keyboard, but all it done made funny crackling noises.
and after that, you had Pauline go, what'd you do that for? But yeah, this is like interesting things that we like I said, our conversations run from tools to how we get readings to how everybody connects, which is really, I love this. And yeah, I'll have you read a poem, Roger, like smack you upside the I have no permission to smack you upside the head, so to read my poem when it's printed on you. No. I've had, I went to a spirit fair here once, and there was a woman who did palm readings, and she looked at my hands, and she's like, she did that little woo thing that Jennifer does.
That's my squeal.
Yeah, your squeal of joy. And she did that when she looked at my palms, and nobody has ever read palms for me. I was like, here, I don't know, like, I took a photocopy of them. I did it at work, and I took photocopies. I posted pictures and sent them, but it's never come back to me. But supposedly I have very interesting palms. I just call them old hands. There's a lot of lines and squiggles and wrinkles. But somebody once told me that when all the little lines disappear in your hand, that you're close to crossing over. And I said, well, I got a very long way to go because I'm so wrinkled. It's not wrinkles, I know. It's just lines, cracks. But how about that, Roger? Is that somewhat close to, if all the little lines start to disappear in your hand, does that mean you're coming close to crossing over? Question. That was not true either. Because we're trying to get our smooth hands.
Never heard that one. Yeah, I haven't heard it either.
I can't remember who told me that. I'll have to remember that one out. But it was, yeah. So I was like, but that's count with people who have things, diseases or illnesses where their hands get swollen and inflamed. So they're, all your little wrinkles disappear. So, but yeah. Does anybody else have any comments on this topic of tools?
After being a mechanic for the last Lord knows how many years, my hands are that wrinkled that, in all honesty, I could use them as a cheese grate. So.
That's rough. That's rough.
I've got the classic M in the middle of my palm, but
Yeah, but what does that mean, M in the middle of the palm? I never understood that.
No,
I think everybody. I look at people's palms and I see. Looks like everybody's got one.
Okay.
Yeah. The way your hand folds, isn't it? So.
Right.
I have it. Mine's kind of misshapen, but it's there. I wrinkle them up like this. You can see it really good. Okay, maybe not that close, but, you have it only on your left hand, Diane?
Yeah, I have it on both.
I have it on both.
Yeah, and me. So.
Dan, you're special. In a very good way.
No, that's quite strange the way people work. We are all different. There's nothing there isn't even a rule book. So how can anyone say that, that's not the way you do things? Everybody is an individual. Everybody has their way of working.
Even identical twins. They may be identical, but they have, if I'm correct, they have different fingerprints. Their fingerprints are not identical.
Right.
So there's always something different about each and every one of us. As much as we are the same, we are different. But I think that's what makes it an interesting, for me, that's what makes life interesting. Because otherwise, if everybody was the same, how boring. Or wait a minute, how scary if everybody was like me. That would petrify everybody. Petrify a lot of my customers at work.
It's when somebody comes up with something totally different that everyone's, that's ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. We've got to learn to accept everybody for what they are, what they can do. And
Yeah.
I found all through my life this has been the thing. I mean, I was taught healing when I was 8 years old. It really came into being, I should say, in the beginning of the 1980s, in a big factory there, and I was healing people every lunchtime. I mean, it was quite, it's quite ridiculous, really. But the people that said to me, "That's not possible. You can't do this. You can't do that." Well, one particular supervisor who was absolutely anti anything to do with the mind. As far as he was concerned, if I can't see it and I can't smell it, it doesn't happen. Anyway, he came up to me one day. He had a tennis elbow, and I laughed when he told me. I said, "Well, what do you want me to do?" He said, "Well, you're supposed to be a healer." He said, "Do it." Anyway, I did. And would you believe, as soon as I'd finished, he could actually move his elbow. And I said to him, I think about 7 or 8 months later, I said, "Well, Lee," I said, "how's your elbow now?" He said, "What's wrong? What do you mean?" I said, "All my elbows." I just stood there and laughed at him, and he laughed as well, gave me a wink and walked away. So I thought, well, you just don't know. People don't believe in what people can do. We've all got to start opening our eyes and our ears and looking and seeing what we can do and what other people can do, and work on it from there, because anything with the human mind is possible.
Yeah, that's true. Diane wrote, yes, too many people compare and think that they are more superior. I don't even think, Diane, don't even look at the Queen as she is anything other than a human being with a title. And now Roger's going back for coffee. But, yeah, no. Titles are just, different name brands on a bottle of soda. It doesn't mean it's the best, a different deck of cards. It's just a title. It's just, again, not that I want to, but when the Queen bleeds, she bleeds red blood, even though she is blue blood, she's still blue. It's still red. Different colors of people, different ethnics, religions, what nationalities, whatever. Everybody bleeds. They bleed red, You tell me somebody who actually bleeds blue blood, then I know they're not from this planet.
Yeah. And everybody needs a loo in their house, I can tell you.
Yep.
Otherwise, even the Queen.
Everybody got to go potty.
Yeah.
So yes,
acceptance.
Pick me. What am I picking you for?
Why do you want to pick you, Daddy?
Okay, we missed him. But, can it have something to do with the aliens coming out? No, I'm kidding.
No, I know what she's saying. That, everybody, right. I know what she's saying. But, like, everybody, I want to be the one. I want to be the one. Pick me. I want to be the one.
Okay, got it. Okay, slow. Okay.
Am I correct, Diane? Yep.
In a funny way, yes. Okay. But, yeah. But I like being different. I like the idea that we're different, that there's no...
I do too.
The same, Well, we can only handle one of each of us. That's
right.
That's it.
And I'm going to keep on being me.
Yep.
Not changing.
As much as people say, well, why can't you be more like,
exactly.
Usually like parents, will say that to sibling, to their, why couldn't you be more like your brother? He was so quiet, or he was so good in school, or why can't you be more like your sister? She's so pretty and she's so, down there. I'm over here. I am who I am. If you don't like it,
right.
It's not my problem. Take it and go. But yeah. Okay. Now here is my topic, which I've been waiting for. Ethics, common decency. We are. This is the way I look at it now. Okay. We are an amazing community, spiritual community, the light community, whatever you want to call it. This community needs to stick together. We're readers, we're psychics, we're mediums, we're telepaths, we're whatever you are, what you do, it's your ability to bring light to a difficult situation, whether it's for one person or for the world. Okay, we need to stick together. Now, I know, yes, we all have different personalities, and we will tend to disagree, but we need to agree to disagree. You can't get into an argument and not like somebody, or saying, I want to be better than so and so. And in shows, whether it be this one or other shows, people need to have respect. We have 3 people here. I keep trying to get more people, but y'all come online. We have 3 people here who talk. And yes, I could just talk the whole way through, but I don't, because to me it's a respect. We work together, so if I'm working with somebody, I want to have their opinion. If I'm doing a show with somebody, and I'm not the only one, even though that's not me, but even if I thought I was right and I had the answer to everything, I'm sorry, I would shut up, sit back, and let somebody else talk, because I don't have the answer to it. No one person has the answer to everything. And I have seen and I have heard of people who run roughshod over other guests and other people in the thing. And I like things to go smoothly. I know I'm rather difficult in that respect. I like things to go smoothly, and I like people to get along. Hey, Roger, did you bring my coffee? Because Brian didn't bring me no tea. But
mine's bitten twice shy. Terribly sorry.
So, anybody else have any comment on etiquette?
Etiquette is a thing that really is down to the individual. It's, I think, all spiritual people. You've got your own set of rules in your head, whether you've been taught them or whether you've picked them up on the way through. I used to watch people really closely as a kid. I was always taught to shut up and keep your mouth shut, which I did, and I found that by watching people, you can tell everything from their face. You can tell their emotions. You can tell whether they're lying. You can tell whether they're making up as they go along. There's so many different things that spiritualism involves, and I think a lot of the time people tend to judge others, and I think it's the non-judgment that we've got to get rid of. It's the judgment that we've got to get rid of and become non-judgmental. I've heard it so many times. If I've come up against a person like that, I just really just blank out, and I don't, get involved in the conversation, because it's their opinion. They have the right to their opinion. It's not what I do personally, but I've had some really experiences like you wouldn't believe. We've run a circle of, I think there was 10 people there, and I wasn't running it, somebody else was, but I found that when we went to church the next Sunday, this was a Friday meeting we used to do, and next time we went to church, that was on the Sunday, this guy, all what we discussed in the circle was all around the church. Now, I was the only one that went at the same time as he did, so how did everybody know? And every time I said to him, you've got to stop spreading around what's in the circle stays in the circle. I haven't said a word. So I said, well, you must be putting it into people's minds then. I said, because everybody knows. I said, people come up and tell me everything you've told them. And he could look you straight in the eyes and say, it wasn't me. I found out afterwards it was him. He did admit to it. But it's your influence over your own mind. You could draw back and just say, no, this is not going to happen. And for my own survival when I was a kid, I used to lie, and it was, survival. Consequently, I realised by the time I got to about 16, 17 that this isn't going to work. I can't keep on doing it. it came as a bit of a surprise to everybody when I used to say to them, I'm sorry, I'm not going to lie, you're an idiot. That's what I think. That used to go down like a lead balloon. But I thought to myself then, I've now got into the habit now. I will not lie. I will not tell untruth or partial truths. I will not discuss other people. I think that's wrong. At glance, somebody's the way they react to something is not wrong. But to actually, with somebody else, discuss a person and tear them apart is wrong. Mm-hmm. This is another thing that we've got to learn to get over.
Yeah, I like what Roger said. Amen.
Yeah.
Right. Knowing if a person's energy resonates with you or not, is that being judgmental? Hell no. Hell no. And if that is the case, then I'm very judgmental because I know who resonates with me and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Spiritual community, they say, but it is not all, love and light in the spiritual community. You will find more backstabbing in the spiritual community. I know who I don't get along with and who I do. I will try to pay you respect as long as you respect me.
Yeah. I know that there are people that I don't like in our community. But I won't say, okay, don't go hang out with Jennifer because she drinks tea. I can't do that. I will say, like, if I didn't like Jennifer, I'm using you as a good example, I would be, if I'm in the same room with you, I'm going to show you respect. And as long as you show me respect, I'll show you respect. But I won't backstab. But that's my way, But there are people who would go, don't hang around with Darlene because she does this, and then unless the person gets to know whoever they're talking about. Somebody tells me, Jennifer's weird. Well, you know what? Yeah, she is, and I love her for it.
I am.
She is, and I love her for it. It's what she's awesome. What is awesome about her? So, what somebody doesn't like about somebody else, is something. If I get the willies around somebody, I try not to be around them. But if I'm around them, if I have no choice, I have to be around them. Like I always, when I train new employees, I say, how at family dinner, you always have this one aunt or uncle or cousin that you really can't stand it. You would just, ugh. But Mama says, this is Christmas dinner. Y'all behave and be nice. That's what you have to do. Behave and be nice. You don't have to hang with them after the dinner. But during that moment in time, behave and be nice.
Right.
And
I would rather keep it real. Keep it real and honest. And I have learned many hard lessons throughout the years, trying to, and I do. I try to bite my tongue. I try to pay the respect. But when you cross those boundaries and lines, and it keeps happening and keeps happening and keeps happening, well, that turns into another story. Yeah.
It's a nice way of handling it, isn't it, Jen? Some people burst into nastiness and start, telling all the stories that they can about another person. Whereas the way I like to handle it is I just nod my head and say, well, that's your opinion. And you walk away and leave it from there. You can't get into trouble as long as you allow them to voice their own opinion. They might not have come up against people like us. And this frightens a lot of people. And I've had it many times. I've been called weird more times than you've had odd dinners, I can tell you. And the thing being is, yes, I respect it. I am weird. There's many different things. My ex used to call me weird all the time because of the things I could do. Whereas, of course, as soon as I'm out with Pauline, we're both spiritualists. We both understand that these things are like it. And Pauline is, so, what can you say, nice about everything. I've never heard a nasty word out of her. And that, to me, I think is a great leveler. Because once you find somebody like that, you can base your own life on it as well. to an extent. So,
Yeah. I guess I haven't come up against real negativity. I know it's out there, but it's never come into my face. I mean, for now, I'm gonna say that I'll show respect. You show me respect. But if I find somebody is talking negative about my behind my back, and it's really not nice, when they come into my face, I honestly don't know how I'll deal with it. I hope I will rise above and not lower myself to their level, and just be the same person I am now. But then again, I've never had anybody, as far as I know, stab me in the back.
The disrespect to my face is more.
I don't. Yeah.
What gets to me? You can say whatever you want to. Behind my back, go right ahead. It doesn't bother me. Now, back in the day, it used to bother me.
Okay.
It doesn't bother me anymore. You can say what you want to behind my back. I'd rather you say it to my face.
Right.
You know, keep it real. Say it to my face. But that's not the way it is. But it doesn't bother me. I've learned to handle things, a lot differently. Like the saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. And then everybody wonders why you sit there in the corner being so damn quiet. Because guess what? I don't have a damn thing nice to say about you. But I'm keeping it real. I'm being me. And that is one thing I just cannot change. I have to do things my way, and I have to be me.
Don't you find though, many times, people judge and they don't know. I mean, one time I remember driving along in the car with Pauline, and this guy was absolutely stupid. He was it's a 3-lane highway, outside our place. And this guy, he was swerving literally from one lane to another. Next one, as soon as there was a gap there, he was into it and trying to move forward. And then we caught up at the traffic lights, and, Pauline was going, he's a bloody idiot and all the rest of it. Yeah, great, he's a bloody idiot. I said, but why do you think he's doing it? And she said, well, I don't know. I said, well, exactly. I said, how do you know that his little child hasn't just been knocked over and he's desperately trying to get to the hospital? You can't tell what other people are thinking. You can tell by what they're saying.
Right.
Even those things that they're saying is sometimes amounted out of fear. A guy said to me one day about, I'd done a reading for him, and he said, it's a load of bloody rubbish. He said, straight to my face. So I said, well, that's your opinion. And I said, just be very, very careful. I said, when you go outside, I said, because the pavement is very rickety. Anyway, he just looked at me and laughed. He said, I can handle anything like that. And he walked outside, tripped over on the pavement, and went smack on his face. And I thought, well, you've got to listen to it sometime, mate, But this is it. It's people's opinions. And their opinion isn't fact. What you've got to do is really be able to discern for yourself what is right, what is wrong in your mind. And then you react to that. Because in their mind, they're right.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Roger wrote in the chat room, anyone can disagree with me on issues, but there's a big difference between those who disagree respectfully and those who don't. And that's you being judgmental again. Not.
Right. No.
But I agree. When I first started coming out of my closet to my community, a minister in our neighborhood said to me, says, how do you know that your angels are not the devil? Because the devil can come disguised as an angel and yada, yada, yada. And I gave him my soda, and he countered it, and we just had a 5-minute discussion. Nothing heated. And at the end of it, I said, you know what, Rev? I said, you and I are going to agree to disagree on this. I said, you cannot change my mind, nor will I change your mind. And that's not what we're about. You're not trying to change my mind. He was, but, I said, but I'm not trying to change your mind. And that is where it ended. Do I see him at least twice a week? Yes. Does this conversation come up? No. Do I still pick on him? Yes. Because that's the way I am. I don't, we respectfully agree to disagree, but, it's when somebody is now this was a show that was on. Somebody was telling me about a show that was on, and one person was asked their opinion on something. And there was 4 people on the panel, and one person was asked their opinion on something. And he gave his opinion, and right after that, another member of the panel tore his opinion to shreds because it didn't coincide with hers. So it was a disagreement of opinions.
Right.
But instead of this other person saying, I disagree, and giving her points, like a debate type of thing, giving her points, she sort of, tried to tear the other person down and totally talk against what his opinion was. But everybody has their opinions. Everybody has a right to their opinions, and you don't like it, hey, again, it's your problem. But that's, it's how you disagree, like Roger said, respectfully or otherwise. And I'm pretty much people show me respect, I respect. There are like boundaries that in there. Diane has just learned about boundaries. I have boundaries. You can come at me and anything I believe, and I will answer you about it. But if you cross a certain line, there's a side of me that you won't want to see. And so far, no one's ever seen that side.
It always comes down to one thing in the end, is to be nice. And if you're nice and you know where the boundary is, everyone expects it. If someone comes up, and they have done many, many times in my life, they come up and say something really nasty, and I think, well, this doesn't really lean towards me even giving an answer. So I'll just turn around and I'll just smile at them, and then just turn and walk away. And I think, well, that is better than having arguments or having, rude discussions on etiquette, on all the rest of the thing. And I think, well, they will learn. I'm not necessarily right in everything, I know that for certain. But on the other hand, I have the right to my opinion.
You have the right to be wrong.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
People don't realise. And a lot of it is fear-induced as well. They don't like the idea. When I do my telepathy thing, a lot of people get really, really angry and say, look, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't get into my mind. You shouldn't do this. And okay, fair enough, but you're going in for permission. But you should, and I get this so many times. And now I tend to go the other way unless I can pick up little tiny things which make them happy. People find those little things that make people happy first of all, and then bring out the heavy guns and tell them what they're really thinking. And as someone said to me long, long ago, why the hell would you want to do that? Because everyone knows what they're thinking. I said, yeah, but it isn't necessarily the right way that they're thinking. And if I can help them around that, then it makes all the difference in the world. Everyone has their right. I mean, one particular guy I picked up on, he gave me permission, it was all there, and he literally hated his daughter's boyfriend, and with a passion, and he said, and I could read him like crazy. And I said to him, look, I said, everybody is different. I said, when you was a kid, I said, we used to ride round on, I had a dirty great big aerial square 4 motorbike. It wasn't the sort of the gang-related incidents that go on now. It was more a matter of, in London, it was the mods and the rockers. When I was a rocker, end of story. People who had these little tiny Lambrettas and Vespers, they used to roar around the place and drive everyone stupid, zooming in and out of everywhere. That's, that's their right to, if that's what they want to do, as long as they don't cause an accident. But this guy, the father was annoyed with, he had a scooter. Well, the guy himself, the father, he was a rocker. He had I think he had a Norton ES2, something, pretty big, not outrageous, but it was a heavy duty beast. And I said, that's the only reason that you don't like him, is that you don't like the idea that there's 2 different types of people in this world. I said, a lot of people like these little tiny bikes with the fluffy things hanging off the end of the handlebars and lights all over the front of them. I said, well, what difference does it make to you? And you could see him actually stopped midstream, mid-sentence. He says, you're right. He said, I can't see any reason for it. Anyway, he came to me, must have been about 2 weeks, 3 weeks afterwards, and he said, I was saying about that lad that's going out with my daughter. He said, I was wrong. And I just giggled. And I thought, well, now you've learned. And they ended up the best of friends. His daughter ended up marrying this guy. And he said, they're so happy. He said, the only thing that I don't like is the fact that they go out on the scooter. And I said, they're always going out on a scooter.
And buy him a damn motorbike.
Yeah, but a motorbike is 10 times more powerful, and I used to think to myself, well, I said to him at the time, I said, but with the Norton S2, I said, they're a magic beast. I said, and they can do at least, 120 miles an hour, can't they? And he looked at me and he screamed and says, yeah, you're right. Whereas little Vespers and they're going to do about 80 miles an hour. So, which one's worse? It's just an opinion from a person. And everybody is different. But as I say, he was really... Roger, yes, I am dating myself because I'm old enough to be your father.
Yeah, I'm not commenting there. Roger wrote, there are those who see their opinion as cold, hard fact and are unwilling to maintain an open mind, understanding that opinions are merely opinions.
Exactly.
Yeah, very true. But like I said, again, your opinion, my opinion, everybody has an opinion. But it's how, for me, again, it all brings it back to how you deal with it. Like I said, Roger can tell me that the sky is pink. And I'll say, no, it's green. Hello. And somebody else will say it's blue. And until you can make somebody see what you see, then it's just an opinion. And I'm not going to see Roger's pink sky. But he's not going to see a green sky either. We each have a thing.
I had a beautiful reading the other night. It just, I'm still in awe. And, while we were talking, there's a quote he uses, and I've been using this quote as well now, but he says, I love you so much, I don't care what you think of me. And, that hit home for, because there's, I've got some issues with some people, family members as well. And I thought, that is beautiful. That's right. I love you so much. I don't care what you think of me. There's a few people that stuck out in my mind right away, and that's how I feel. Oh, geez. But it's, that is how I feel. I've actually, I might like you a little bit much. I'm not going to say I love everybody, but, I'm at the point now where I really don't care. I do, but I really don't. It's not, it's not my job to make you like me.
Yeah.
It's not my job, I am who I am. If you can accept me for who I am, then it's all good.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like you can oh God, I just lost my train of thought. Brain fart. Sorry. You cannot make a person like you. I cannot make a person like me. I might grind on somebody's nerves because I'm always in a good mood, but that's who I am. And the day I'm not in a good mood, then something's off. But I will, like you said, I will like the person, I will love the person until you make me not. But even so, even then, you're still, I always say to people when they become friends of mine on Facebook, they're part of my heart family. And no matter what, I have not yet come across somebody who has done something so horrific that they've come out of my heart. Because once you're in my heart, you're there to stay. To me, that's where, it is. That's how I, but again, I have not yet come across somebody who has, I still always love the girls in my past relationships. Shh, don't tell now. no matter how the relationship ended. That's something I cherish and can never be taken away from me. Aww.
And it taught him, you learn.
Yeah, you learn. Yeah,
Learn.
exactly.
I'm not going. I cannot say that. I
think it's
I
harder.
can't say that. I dated some assholes.
Oh, Jen.
Well, I did. I'm being honest.
That's true. I think it's different for women than it is for men. I think.
Right.
Because I've never dated a woman in my life, But I know that women can be rather okay. My Google just wanted to search out what I was saying. I know we as women can be right nasty and bitchy and downright mean and evil. Mm-hmm. I said evil, didn't I? Mm-hmm. But I also know that men, and I've dated a few in my time, that there are some, like you said, I've dated some mega assholes in my life. But I'm sure, that a couple of them may have said, well,
yeah,
true bitch. But because I'm not the same person I am now that I was then. So right. I've grown. I've changed. Thank God. But yeah. So, but no, I do think fondly. I'll accept one. I can think fondly of, and that one I still kind of go. He taught me a lesson, and for that I thank him. Other than that, do I want to cross paths with him? No. Would I walk along? Would I help him if he was down on the street and bleeding? Yes, I would.
Of course you would.
I think there's only two people in my life that I would just. Sorry. Saw you hurting on the street, down, bleeding profusely. I'd walk across the street and walk away from you, walk around you. That's a personal thing, and they crossed that line. They crossed my boundary, and that will never get that back into my. But I never dated either one of them, so I'm okay. I'm like, right. Asshole with a capital A and a big H.
Well, I had 3 daughters, and we brought those up exactly the same way as I was. To be non-judgmental, to be happy with life. I think that's the way to put it. One of them, believe it or not, she's still not happy with life. She's been married 3 times. She's had more boyfriends than you can poke a stick at, and she's now nearly 50 years old. One can't change other people. You can only make sure that your standard remains the standard that you can live with. Mm-hmm. And I think that is the most important thing. People they speak before they think, and I think this is where most problems come from. They don't research into anything. They come out with supposedly facts that don't even exist. It's just that somebody else thought it, or somebody else said it, and they're carrying on and believe that to be fact. What we've got to do is, control your mind, and mind control is one of the most important things in this world. That's what Transcendental done for me, and also Jose Silva. Read his book. It's all mind control. It's not controlling other people's mind, it's controlling your mind. Because then that opens doors to so much more.
Yeah. And it's interesting the way. Diane said, I am a big believer in forgiveness. I've had ones that crossed the line. I've learned something from them, and I was able to forgive them purely because they have a heart, but their actions are not forgivable.
And I agree. I've been wronged many, many times, and sometimes by the same person or peoples over and over, and they would always know. I would have that bigger heart. She's the sucker. I would always forget. I'm never going to say I would forget, because that you just can't do. I never fully forgave, but I was the sucker, and you could keep coming back and knocking on my door. Not so much the same anymore. I have learned a lot of boundaries.
I'll never say it to them, no.
Right.
No, I think, yeah. It would take an awful lot for me to... Hi, Gigi! It would take an awful lot for me to cross back over to that street and have those people, but...
Right.
Like I said, I haven't come upon the situation, so I don't know. Still think I'd have a hard time with at least one of them. Really have a hard time with some.
Right.
For many, many reasons.
You just got to be honest with yourself. I mean, seriously. That's in the beginning, you know, I was asked, I've got to read, and it's like, why do you feel that you know, cannot do these things? Why do you feel that you are not, you know, worthy of using, you know, these abilities? Why do you, you know, and it was because I cuss, I smoke cigarettes, I can't forgive and forget just like everybody can, you know, and I'm thinking, you know, I can't be a spiritual person talking like that, acting like that, you know, thinking these thoughts. It took a long time for me to accept. Yeah, you can. Yep. Yes, you can. So I think it's all about being yourself, being your true, authentic self. I mean, we're not all the same. We're, you know, we aren't. And we're not.
We do have. Go ahead, sorry.
And I said we're not meant to be.
Yeah, and we do all have potty mouths at times.
Oh yeah, I know. I do.
I do too. Like I am a perfect pain in the ass. I have a T-shirt that they won't allow me to wear in public, and it says I can go from 0 to bitch in 2.5 seconds. I can. As much as I'm sweet and innocent and butter would melt in my mouth, I can.
Right.
It doesn't happen often, but I can.
I'll be quite honest, I have not got angry now for 10, 12 years.
What?
I can't even remember what the feeling is of anger.
Oh no, not me.
Honestly,
and it is okay to feel those feelings.
Oh, God, yes.
You know, anger, you know, hurt, crying. We're human.
But the thing is, it's still your mind, isn't it? If you really look into it, it's how you perceive what other people are saying. And I just think, well, stupid sod, that's your opinion, I'm away. And I just smile at them and turn and walk away. It saves so much hurt, so much nastiness in the world. And that works for me, and it has done now for, as I say, 10 years without any problem whatsoever.
Well, I've even had a couple people say to me, and you know, it was escalating to Jen is going to get angry here, like in 0 to 10, and we're not talking minutes, we're talking seconds. And the comment would come from them, how could you react like that? How could you say something like that, being such the spiritual person that you have become now? Now that made me want to fly off the handle even worse, because now you're using, because I am such a spiritual person, that I am supposed to accept this abuse, accept this behavior, tolerate it, and put up with it, and not feel anything, not say anything, just allow it, no boundaries. No, it's okay to feel those things.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, Jen, look, I read you some time ago, and with what you're putting up with now, I could never, ever put up with. That would be beyond my scope, beyond my power. And it's just something that you've got to sort of discern for yourself. If those two people actually came to you and really came to me and started to really, you know, rack off and really be nasty about things. I mean, years ago, it was quite simple. I'd just punch somebody in the face and that was the end of it. You just walk away from there. But I've learned since that being violent or being aggressive towards them doesn't win you anything. It is something that comes back and really chews back at you. If you, as I say, my favourite trick of all is just to turn my head very, very slowly, look at them, and then smile. And that leaves them wondering so much, because then they've got to really start thinking about what they said, what they're doing, and everything else. They're not going to attack you, or let's put it this way, men would not attack you because you're a female. So consequently,
right.
I take that back. There are men out there, not a lot, but there are men out there who will, and in a split second, they don't care whether you're male or female or young or old. That will slap you silly just because or whatever. But
I came from the East End of London, and I was quite involved with the Cray brothers. Not in their gang or anything like that, but I used to do all their car repairs. And I remember one day I got round there and they caught this guy who was a paedophile. And he was known. They'd actually caught him doing a nasty.
Oh.
And their idea was, how the hell can we teach him? Anyway, when I got there with one of the cars that I was returning, the guy said to me, right, he said, we're going to sit a bloke down there on the gutter. I want you to drive over his legs. At least he won't be able to, at least he won't be able to get to anybody else. And I just sat there and I thought to myself for a while, is it my turn to play God? No, it isn't. And all right, somebody took over the driving and they done the deed. And I walked away, I walked home, and I thought to myself, well, how can one judge? How can one really judge? This guy is sick in the mind. What he should have done really.
I'm sorry, but that's still a boundary. I don't know if I could have done it. Been my childhood, a different story. But I don't know if I would have been able to do that. But it's still a boundary that's a crossing that I'm sorry.
I didn't have any choice in the matter, because if you'd have known the Cray brothers, they were animals.
We have our brand of them over here, but I understand that. But
No, but there were certain blokes there that didn't give a damn about it. They'd do it just for the sheer hell. But on the other hand, I often thought to myself afterwards, I had my 3 daughters then, and I mean, my little one was only just born. But I thought to myself, now what would I do if that were me?
Yeah, that's the thing.
One of my children. And I mean, all these things went through my mind as I'm walking home. But I still came to the same conclusion that that sort of action isn't for me. And that was one of the reasons that I broke away from them and I came to Australia.
Well, we're getting a little bit too icky side right now, so let's just go back over to the less icky side. But so it's like I said, this started this conversation. But by the way, good night, Christy. I know you're gone already, but we have to learn that even with all of our differences, there has to be a point where we come together as a community to do what is right, what is necessary to bring to heal the world. Okay, and I'm sorry, we've just destroyed. We're next to destroying Gaia. We're next to destroying this earth that supplies us with the air that we breathe and everything. So why can't the light community, the spirit community, we all believe in basically the same thing, that with the good energies and the goodness that we can put out, we can help heal the world. So why can't we do that? Why do we have to? I'm not going to work with Brian because I don't like him. Well, you know what? You're not working with Brian. You're working with a group. And if you don't like Brian, stand like 10 people away from him, but still work. You're not, that's me. Like I said, I haven't come into contact with somebody who, people I would rather not, but but again, it hasn't hit me smack in the face where there is that comes to office politics, but I need I need to think this way. That's my opinion, is I need to think that there is good in every single person. That's why I can find the silver lining in almost every situation. I haven't not yet come across a situation that I haven't been able to find something good about it. Yeah. Don't test me either.
In all honesty, I mean, you've got to know that these things can happen. You've got to know that the other people are around. I mean, the reason that the world is in such a state at the moment is purely one thing, and that's greed. Everybody's out for themselves. I was talking to a guy, and he was going off about, our government here in Australia, and how the big banks are doing this and the big corporations are doing that. And I said to him, well, surely, I said, you've got shares in that company, haven't you? They said, well, yeah. I said, well, try pulling your money out of them, and don't, oh no, he said, I'll be losing all my, money that I get every year. And I thought, well, it's just pure greed. This is where it's all coming from. And people don't realise that, how much their actions make the problems that are happening now. I think you've got to go really back to the point of thinking, well, I am a spiritualist person, and this is how I will handle it. And so it goes on from there. I know that Darlene is, I know that Jennifer is. And it's easy once you know people who are the same as you. And it is so apparent all the time.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Yeah, you were talking and you were muted. Don't do it.
Yes, I just deep in thought.
Okay. Well, let's brighten this up and let's pick on Roger. No, okay. I know it was something. It was a topic that I chose because I had heard of a not so very nice story about a couple of not so very nice people. I have never had to work with either of these people, and I'll be on my guard if I ever have to work with these people. But I won't hold it against them, unless of course they do it to me, and then we'll see what happens.
I was friendly with a certain group of people, and once they really found out what my abilities were, they ditched me like a ton of hot bricks. And I thought to myself at the time, well, how good a friend are they? How good a spiritualist are they when they cannot even accept a different version of mind tricks or mind games, or however you want to put it. They became fearful whenever I spoke to them online. It was always a one-word answer. And I thought to myself at the time, well, if that's how they want to play it, that's their problem, not mine. And people tend to try and dig in too deep to find out and sort this out and sort that out. And it doesn't work. You might just as well just be yourself and carry on through. So, I mean, I picked up from so many different people with different things, and you would be surprised how some spiritualists do react. Well, I just look upon it that they've got a problem and they've got to sort it out. But I'm not going to be the one to tell them. I can tell you. I hadn't asked permission. I hadn't asked permission to get into them anyway. So.
Well, I've got to say, I'm pretty proud. Some of these things that have popped up, I look back on, and I've got to say, I'm pretty proud of myself.
Exactly.
For, standing my ground and believing in myself when I did, and not backing down. I did not back down. I just, no matter what they thought, and, my opinion, things, worked out the way that they were supposed to. Yeah. So, made me feel a lot better, made me feel a lot stronger.
Don't you find, though, that the people who you know, what I classify them as, to be honest, is cheats. You know, I stood by a woman who was doing readings at our local spiritualist fair, and she gave the same reading to 4 different people. And I thought, well, she's just an absolute cheat, you know, and it was all the sort of stuff that she was generalising on everything. There was no particular thing that she could pick up on from the person. And that annoys me because it gives spiritualism such a bad name.
Mm-hmm.
It honestly does. And I think, well, why the hell are they doing it? It's only either for money or notoriety, one of the two.
It's more, again, it's the money thing. But because I've heard of medium psychics, spiritualists who have made up things because they couldn't connect with spirit.
Or if you saw something that they couldn't see, it wasn't there. And, you know, it wasn't there. You're incorrect.
Yeah. Well, I think because Jennifer has said it numerous times that if she's if somebody wants her to do a reading for them and they can't connect, she can't connect to what they want or to the person or the situation. She'll tell them straight up, sorry, I can't.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
That's only happened to me, I think, twice, which is really good. But I think, you know, and it's not that you know, somebody says, oh my God, you can't connect, so what are you, fake? No, she's honest. You know,
Right.
I think that part of being honest, it's like, you know, hey, you know, it's like being able to say, hey, I made a mistake, you know, I charged you too much or whatever, you know, or I can't. It's common decency, honesty.
Yeah, and it hasn't happened. I think maybe twice it happened that that I was like, I just can't. But I felt that there were reasons that, you know, I wasn't connecting, and it wound up. You know, when I'm like, oh, okay, this is coming. It wasn't what she wanted to hear. Oh no. But then, you know, then the story got a little twisted up, and well, I do know what you're saying, but it wasn't what she wanted to hear. Well, this is what I'm getting. And Spirit gives you what they want you to hear and what you're supposed to hear at that time, not what you want to hear. So if you want me to sugarcoat something and tell you what you want me to, you know, what you want to hear and nothing else, well, then you're talking to the wrong one, because that's not how it works with me. And I will never make anything up. That's not cool.
Yeah, it's like, is your name worth the range can go from $25 to $250 was the highest amount I've seen for a reading. And I was like, okay, well, thank you.
Right.
You know, and is your name worth losing it for that money? Because somebody does find out in the end that you flubbed up there. Say, like Brian was saying, the lady had given the exact same reading to 3 or 4 different people. Somebody found out, Brian found out. Now, whether he did anything about it or not doesn't matter. It's out there already.
Exactly.
You know? The person that I heard who said, I'll make up stuff when I don't, you know, this person didn't realize that what they said was going to be repeated, but it was because somebody found that, you know, not right. And I understand it. You know, so, I mean, you have to think, you know, it's like, I mean, I'll have to use the analogy of like where I work. Okay. Many years ago, the store got robbed. I was working in the office at the time. Now, I had got called down to the front, and this, that, and the other damn thing didn't fall into place the way it normally did. And somebody broke into the office and took the money and hauled ass. When I went in, it was like, oh, ho, ha, ha, ha. But they originally thought that I had something to do with it. And I said, you know what? My name, no matter how much money was in that till, and I know how much money was in the safe, no matter how much money was in that safe, my name is worth so much more than that. So it'll be the
Exactly.
same thing for me for readings, for consultations, for whatever. My name is worth a whole lot more
Right.
than making the $25 to $50, the $280 or the whatever the heck it is. It
Yes.
irks me, you know.
We all have
you know.
bad days. We all have bad days, though. I mean,
Oh, yeah, everybody does.
people have come up to me and said, Brian, can you tell me, what I'm thinking is obviously wrong. Can you tell me where I'm going wrong? And honestly, I could not pick up from this particular lady at all.
Yeah.
And I've never charged for anything, to be honest. Everything I do is, we live on the pension and that's it. But I just said to her, look, I'm afraid I'm not picking up anything at all from you. I don't know what you're blocking and how you're blocking it. I said, but I'm buggered at this time. You're just going to have to come back another time and we'll try again. Mm-hmm. Which she did, and I managed to get through on the second time. But that particular time, I was so down. I was thinking to myself, well, I'm just going to make up for these things and, spout it off. I'm just going to tell her the truth. And the truth was that she obviously was so strongly blocking me that I couldn't get through. And I tried to ask her how she was doing it. And even she didn't know, so I could have found out, I could have done something about it. This is it. We all get our bad times. What I don't like to see is when people are cheating. That annoys me because spiritualism is worth so much more than that.
Yeah.
Right. And I've had people that would come to me all hours and whenever they saw my green light on and message me, hey, can you pick up, and that got really annoying, but I was the type that would, okay, let me do it. And I would give them all these hours. And then I would find out that they went to somebody else and paid them, good money for the exact same thing. And then they would come back to me and say, oh, I talked to so-and-so and she told me the exact same thing that you told me. And I'm like, really? Well, doesn't that make me feel wonderful,
Yeah.
But and then a week later, coming back again. So, like I said, it's big boundary time for me. I did take a nice break and, or the one that I caught on air, after so many readings, I actually tuned in and got to hear it all on air. And it's like, isn't that interesting? All those hours, and she's getting the exact same experience. So, but
Roger has a question in the chat room. He says, speaking of off days, how much do you think the phases of the moon or astrological placings have to do with our receptiveness? Got a good one.
I think a lot.
I'm the other way around. I don't believe in this the devil and the hell business. I think it's all in your own mind. I've never gone by anything of phases of the moon or, the shape of the earth or this is moved or that's moved. I think you can get too far displaced from what your original thoughts are. I've gone a long way on this, to be quite honest, because, people have said to me that it's one of these things that, as I say, I've had them say to me, you won't be any good tonight because this is happening and that's happening and God knows what else, And I think, well, why should it change me? It doesn't really affect me one little tiny bit.
Yeah. Well, I think my opinion is, are you, sorry, were you done? Shoot me.
No, I just said people tend to change because of their own way of thinking, and it's not the way I think. So I think, as I say, it's an individual thing. If you believe it, you do. If you don't, then, well, it's entirely up to your good self.
Well, my opinion is most people who get their connection through spirit, through the universe, it might affect them more than it would affect you because you work your mind to their mind. You're not working with spirit as much as it probably affected you. You just haven't realized it because you use a different facet as well. You know, for me, the past couple of weeks have been like, oh, you know, okay, not counting the fact that I had to go to work after 2 weeks vacation. Yes, I'm going to whine about that for the next 6 months till next year's vacation. But it has, and when it first, I used to think it's just, you know, I'm having an odd week, an off week, until somebody started to explain to me the phases of Mercury and the moon. I still don't completely understand it. I just know sometimes it mucks with me. I said muck.
Right.
With M. You know, and so yeah, I do. I have seen it. I have watched it, and it's a proven fact. I have a very good friend. Her husband was in the police force over in the UK, and full moon nights they knew that they put on double duty for people because people would go little wagga wagga, you know, and now whether it was because their mind made them, you know, they thought, oh, the full moon I can act like a bigger ass than normal, you know, or it was actually they became a bigger ass because it was a full moon, you know, that very good.
Right.
Because of that, but it doesn't matter. It's still affected, you know.
Yes.
And Rod says it does affect the tides, and we are something like 70% water. I think we're more than 70%, but so yeah, the full moon and the phases of that, because we'll you know, it affects us physically, you know. So why not? I mean, yeah, it affects
Special
the water.
education as well, Diane. She
Mm-hmm.
says the nursing home, special education, right? Like the police officers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was growing up, they would all say, "Oh, it's going to be a full moon," and I'm like, you know, what's that got to do with anything? But it is true. And when I worked in special education, we were watching those calendars too, and that it is a proven fact. When it's a full moon, everything goes haywire. I get a lot of moon energy. Mercury retrogrades really, you know, affect me. But those moons, there would be, now I have learned to balance it out a little bit better. But I mean, there were sometimes we would get those moons and I would be up, let's say way past 24 hours, bouncing off the walls. It would get nuts for me. So I truly do believe in that. I get a lot of moon energy.
I try and sleep through it. I usually do. Because I have my bedroom, the moon shines right into my bedroom window, and on full moons, I make sure that my head is so that I can see the moon. I just love the energy that it gives me. So I know it does affect people, negative and positive. For me, it's like, and recharging my crystals on full moon. I was recharging this crystal on my full moon. You know, yeah. Would I get a little loopier? I don't know. I'm always loopy, so you know, can't measure that one by the poor moon. Don't put that on the moon. But yeah, no. People with dementia are harder to handle on a full moon and a week before. Yeah, that's dementia and anyway, won't go there. But yes, it'll affect. If it affects the oceans, huge, ginormous oceans, if they're affected by the rising and the setting of the moon, why can't we be affected by it? So I happen to agree. So yeah. Yes, Roger. Sorry, go ahead.
She's saying it's quite possible that it does affect. It doesn't affect me because I work in a totally different way.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me think any differently.
No.
It's a way that I've not come across those sort of things that Daisy was talking about, you know, and maybe it will be with me as I get a bit older, but at the moment I'm cool.
We'll have to talk to Pauline about that one.
Yes, that's for sure.
No, but the thing is, here's the thing is that you in the beginning said it doesn't affect you, you know, and you have to give Nell our love, sweetie. and smooch the new little baby
I
grandchild
know.
here.
It's
Baby,
a baby.
baby love. You were open enough to say, yeah, well, you know what? Maybe it does. I just don't see it. And that's the thing is, not everybody can see it. You've always worked in this way with machines and with things. So are machines affected by the full moon? I don't think so, because it's a solid, but it's a possibility. So you work with machines, so maybe you wouldn't see it. You don't work with spirit coming through to you. You don't work with the cards. You work with your mind. Now, whether, we know you're a man and we have special mind problems as to begin with, but, I love you. But yeah, but you were open enough to listen to say, you know what, there maybe is that possibility. I just never looked at it from that angle. And that's what it is. We all have to see things from a different angle. Okay, look, it's almost time to go. All right, because it's 8:27. Let's see if I can do a quick one. Everybody knows our. This is going to be a really important one. Okay, this is our Gmail address now. On the September the 11th. Okay, we're going to do a show on orbs and spirit in pictures. So make note of this email. Send us pictures of orbs and spirits in pictures, because I want to be able to put them up on. Yeah, you better get busy, Jackie. So I want to be able to put them up on our board and have everybody in the chat room talk about it and see what they think. Brian has already sent me in a couple, but I'm going to post something in the IntuiTalks group and in the Facebook group. I want people to send it in. It's an interesting thing to me. I've seen a couple. I'll have to ask a few people if I can use their pictures. But it's a very interesting topic. We're looking for some guests. Hopefully we're going to try and get a guest for next week to come in. Maybe do some readings. Maybe just chit-chat. We'll see how that goes. You know how I am, a last-minute thing. As much as I try and get caught up, I really don't do a good job of it. I need to thank Jennifer and Brian for being the awesomeness that make us an awesome team. My guests in the chat room, Diane, Gigi, Jackie, Jennifer, Roger, Supernatural Radio. We had Christy, Robert, and Angelically Inspired, who lost power, by the way. Thank you all for coming once again. I hope to see you all next week. Jennifer, you have anything to say?
I do appreciate everybody coming and supporting us, and hopefully we will grow like the tree.
Yes, my roots.
Thank you very much, everybody. Really enjoyed our conversation and all of the different people that we've got in this world. Isn't it amazing?
Awesome. All right. I love you all very much. In a couple of seconds, I will be turning off the thing. So if anybody else has anything to say so now. And here is one last time. Our email address. Okay, good. Thank God it wasn't anything rude. All right, everybody. Hang on. And we're out.
Bye.
Nope, it's not off yet. Sure, yes, I want to end the recording.